Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Dear devotees, we are reading from Sri Caitanya Bhagavat by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Mahasaya, and we are reading the Prasanga where Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu has received Diksha from Sri Ishwar Puripad. He has returned from Gaya to Sri Navadvip Dham, and as a Adhyapak, teacher of Sanskrit Vyakaran, Sanskrit grammar, now Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching all the Sanskrit grammar sutras in connection to Lord Krishna. And constantly he is chanting the names of Krishna. And there are very beautiful descriptions coming in the verses where the students will ask question about some dhatu, some Sanskrit verb root. And Mahaprabhu will say the dhatu of everything is Krishna and chant the name of Krishna. So very beautiful. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is transformed. Nimai Pandit has transformed into Bhavuk Nimai. Bhavuk Nimai is filled with Bhav for Krishna. So let's read verse number 242. This is description of Bhavuk Nimai. Ki bhojane ki shayane ki bajagarane Krishna vinu prabhu ara kichu nava khane. Ki bhojane, whether while eating, ki shayane, whether while sleeping, ki bajagarane, or while he was awake. Our Prabhu Sri Chaitanya Dev, Krishna vinu ara kichu nava khane. Other than Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would not speak anything. Everything Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, the revered spiritual master of our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Srila Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada. Purport. While eating, sleeping, and remaining awake, the Lord never attempted to glorify anything other than topics related with Krishna's names, Krishna Nam, forms, different roop of Krishna, Krishna roop, qualities, Krishna Gun, and pastimes, Krishna Lila. Krishna Nam, Krishna roop, Krishna Gun, Krishna Lila. This is all that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke. Persons belonging to the Gauranga Nagari and other upper sampradayas say that the householder Gauranga instructed attached householders to simply perform Grihamed Yajnas or sacrifices for the prosperity of one's family life. But in this case, the author, Thakur Sri Vrindavan Das Mahasaya, does not describe any such or similar endeavors of Lord Gauranga, who is fully absorbed in the mood of a pure devotee. Hari Bol. Text 243. So one little reflection here. Ki bhojane, ki shayane, ki ba jagarane, Krishna vinu prabhu ara kichu na vakhane. Vakhane means to speak. This is the dasha of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Nimai Pandit when he was maybe 19, 20 years old, till the age of 24, till he left Navadvip. Then it became even more pronounced as Sannyasi Thakur, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The point is, ki bhojane, ki shayane, ki ba jagarane, Krishna vinu prabhu ara kichuna vakhane. This Mahaprabhu is practicing. And then what is he teaching in the 20th chapter of Ante Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? Khaite shuite yatha tatha namale desha kala niyam nahi sarva siddhi hai. Isn't it? He's preaching that khaite shuite yatha tatha namle. Whatever you are doing, eating, sleeping, waking, just chant Krishna Namle. Desh kal niyam nahi sarva siddhi hai. There is no rule, just chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You see, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is preaching in Chaitanya Charitamrita what he has already practiced in Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is the beauty of Acharya. Acharya means one who three things. Acharya means one who has understood from the scriptures as it is and practicing in one's life, and also teaching others how to practice. Understanding practice, and making others implement it. These three things constitute Acharya. So, there is a very beautiful verse that Srila Gauragovinda Swami Maharaj, Srila Gauragovinda Swami Maharaj, he was asked by the GBC to write a paper in the year 1989. In 1989, ISKCON GBC requested Sri Srimad Gauragovinda Swami Maharaj to write a paper about the position of Guru, position of Srila Prabhupada, position of Guru, the meaning of Guru. So a very beautiful essay was written on Guru Tattva by Sri Srimad Gauragovinda Swami Maharaj. This very beautiful book is there. So in this book, the definition of Guru and Acharya is given, and I will read. Srila Gauragovinda Swami Maharaj is quoting from the Skanda Purana, the definition of Guru. Guru. Gu shabdasti andhakarasya ru shabdastan nirodhakaha andhakara nirodhatvad guru it abhidhiyate. So gu means darkness, andhakar. Ru means nirodhak, one that removes. Gu means andhakar, ru means to remove. So guru, andhakara, nirodhatva. One who removes the andhakar from our life, that personality is called Guru. Gu means darkness, ru means to remove. Therefore, Ajnana, we just now chanted, Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalake Chakshur Unmilitam. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are in the darkness. Eyes are closed, we cannot see anything, it's all dark. But when the eyes are open and there is light, then we can see everything clearly. That is Guru, one who removes the darkness of ignorance, darkness of avidya. Then Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj quotes from Vayu Purana, the definition of Acharya. Definition of Guru we saw, one who removes darkness from our life. Definition of Acharya from the Sri Vayu Purana. Achinoti yaha shastrartham acharye sthapayat api swayam acharate yasmad acharyastena kirtitaha. Acharya is one who knows the meaning of all the Vedic literatures. Achinoti yaha shastrartham. Shastra artha, he knows the meaning of the Shastra and abides by the rules and regulations. Acharye sthapayat api. Swayam acharate yasmad. He himself practices and teaches the disciples to act in the same way. That is acharyastena kirtita. That is a acharya. One who understands Shastra, practices Shastra in one's life, and teaches others to practice Shastra. That is Acharya. Is that nice? Acharya's definition. Achinoti yaha shastrartham acharya sthapayat api swayam acharate yasmad acharyastena kirtitaha. So these are the definitions of Guru and Acharya based on Skanda Purana and Vayu Purana. So we see how Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu is a genuine Acharya. He is our Sampradaya Acharya. We are in the Gauranga Mahaprabhu Sampradaya, Gaudiya Sampradaya. So he practiced and now he is preaching. Text 243. Aptamukhe ek katha shuniya bhaktagan sarvagane vitarka bhavena mane man. When all the devotees heard from their friends about this behavior of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, that day and night, eating, sleeping, waking up, while taking Ganga Snan, while teaching the students constantly in school, outside school, he's only talking about Krishna, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So then what happened? When all the devotees heard from their friends about this, they discussed together and began to contemplate. Discussing what is happening to Mahaprabhu, what is happening to Nimai Pandit. This is what they are speculating. Kiba Krishna Prakashaha ila se sharire, kiba sadhu sange, kiba purvera samskare. How has this transformation occurred in Nimai Pandit? First, he used to argue mundane topics, discuss mundane topics, fight over mundane topics, establish mundane Siddhanta, break it, re-establish, all mundane topics. Now, only Krishna. Only Krishna. Kiba Krishna Prakasha Haila se Sharire. How has this Krishna Prakash manifested in the body of Nimai Pandit. How has Krishna manifested in Nimai Pandit? Kiba sadhu sange? Did it happen because of some sadhu sanga that Nimai got? Kiba purvera samskare? Or did he have some good samskar from his previous life that have now manifested? So nice, so beautiful. Kiba sadhu sange, kiba purvera samskare. They are speculating because both these things can manifest Krishna Prakash, can cause one to become fully Krishna conscious. Sadhu Sangha and previously practiced Bhakti, Bhakti Poshak Sukriti. So they are thinking like that. And we will talk about this after finishing the remaining verses. This will actually be the focus of our discussion today. Kiba Krishna Prakasha Haila se Sharire, Kiba Sadhu Sange, Kiba Purvera Samskare. Kimata mane sabe kare na vichar, Sukhamaya chitta vritti haila sabar. All the devotees contemplated in this way. Is it because of Sadhu Sangha or is it because of previous Adhyatmik Sukriti? How has Krishna manifested in Nimai? The devotees contemplated in this way and their hearts filled with happiness. So the non-devotees, they were wondering what happened. Devotees, they were also wondering, but Sukhamaya chitta vritti haila sabar. Ei mata mane saba karena vichar. But the devotees became very happy that Nimai has transformed into the greatest devotee. Last verse. Khandila bhaktera dukha pashandira nasha Mahaprabhu Vishwambhara haila prakasha. Very beautiful verse. See. Khandila bhaktera dukha. The devotee's distress was vanquished. Pashandira nash. And the atheists were uprooted. Mahaprabhu Vishwambhar haila prakash. The devotee's distress was vanquished. The atheists were uprooted as the Supreme Lord Shri Vishwambhar, Nimai Vishwambhar, manifested himself. Mahaprabhu Vishwambhar haila prakash. Khandila bhaktera dukha, pashandira nash. Beautiful verse, no? Srila Vrindavan Thakur is saying the effects of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu finally manifesting himself as Bhaktarup. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarup. This is Bhaktarup of the Supreme Lord, Shri Nimai Vishwambhar. Purport. Now the rising sun-like preaching of devotional service to Shri Krishna by Lord Vishwambhar, who is the distributor of love of God, Krishna Prem Pradayate, throughout the entire world. Now this rising sun-like preaching of Krishna Bhakti by Shri Nimai Vishwambhar in the entire world eradicates the former mental agony of the devotees. Remember how the devotees headed by Shri Advaita Acharya, Shrivas Thakur, Haridas Thakur, they were praying and crying, looking at the deplorable condition of the materialistic people around them and praying for Nimai to descend in this world. Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Jive Daya Kori Swaparshada Sviya Dhama Sahai Avatari Atyanta Durlabha Prema Kori Bare Dan Shikhaye Sharanagati Bhakatera Pran. So that which is very dear to the devotees, Sharanagati, pure Krishna Bhakti, that Vitaran, that is being distributed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu now. So naturally the devotees' distress is vanquished, and atheists, Pashandi, who don't like Bhakti, who don't like Bhaktas, now they are destroyed, they are defeated. They could not stand in front of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So here, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada writes, now the sunlight preaching of devotional service to Krishna by Vishwambhar, who is the distributor of love of Krishna throughout the entire world, eradicates the former mental agony of the devotees. Previously, devotees were very agonized, but all that was eradicated by the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially when he manifested himself as the Supreme Lord. He manifested himself as the Supreme Devotee of the Lord. So these devotees who were ridiculed and harassed by the non-devotees. And this begins the pastime of oppressing the atheists, Pashandira Nash, atheists who were opposed to devotional service. This is Mahaprabhu's mission. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the savior of all devotees. In this regard, I would like to share something with all of you. Just give me 1 second. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is a very beautiful song by Sri Vasudev Ghosh. Oh, sorry, not this one. 1 second. Not this one. I meant to show you. I meant to show you that other song. What is that? Nimai Vishwambhara Srinivasa Ishvara Kali Kukuraka. So starts with Kali Kukuraka. Ha, sorry. This is the one that I wanted to show you. So here it is said how this last verse. Vrajarasa bhavana dushtamata shatana kapati vighatana kama shuddha bhakta palana shushka jnana tadana chala bhakti dushana rama. This is our Nimai Vishwambhara. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the source of all transcendental mellows of Vrajdham. Brajarasa Bhavan. He is the destroyer of all mischievous and wicked mentality. Dushtamata Shatan. And he dissolves the mundane lust of the deceitful, insincere souls by his causeless mercy. Kapati Vighatana Kam. He maintains and protects his pure devotees. Shuddha Bhakta Palan. And he chastises dry speculative knowledge. Shushka Jnana Tadan. And he destroys pretentious, hypocritical devotion. Chala Bhakti Dushana. And he is the reservoir of all spiritual pleasure. He is Ram. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Ram is also indicating Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu or Sri Krishna. So this is very beautiful bhajan. So I wanted to share that. And we will discuss now on the topic that we read in these verses of how pure devotion arises in the heart, Hare Krishna, by Srimad Bhagavatam. How pure devotion arises in the heart by associating with a Mahabhagavat. There are two types of Bhagavat. There is Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavat and there is Bhakta Bhagavat. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita describes two types of Bhagavat. So by associating with Bhagavat, one gets pure devotion. Once Sri Srimad Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj was asked a question, how to get Krishna Prem? And Sri Radha Govinda Das Goswami Maharaj very simply said, just chant Hare Krishna and read Srimad Bhagavatam. Everybody can do that. We all have Srimad Bhagavatam and we all have our Japamala and we have so many Kirtans on ISKCON Desire Tree and YouTube, and we have a devotee association also. Even if we don't have any devotee association in our city, or our schedule doesn't permit us to often get the association of devotees in person, we can chant Hare Krishna, we can sing Kirtan along with the Kirtan of pure devotees, and we can read Srimad Bhagavatam. We can hear Srimad Bhagavatam classes. So in this way, pure devotion will arise in our heart. And this is experiential. This is coming from Srila Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj, who is himself the proof, the evidence of getting Krishna Prem through Srimad Bhagavatam. All his life, Maharaj has maintained the vrat of reading Srimad Bhagavatam for hours and hours and hours every day. And today, if we see, some of the most empowered preachers in our movement are disciples of Srila Radha Govinda Goswami Maharaj, who speak on Srimad Bhagavatam. Devotees like His Grace Amarendra Prabhu, His Grace Hari Parshad Prabhu, His Grace Lal Govinda Prabhu, and so many others are there. They are preaching. You see the unique characteristic of all of them. They have love for Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we will discuss on this theme of how to get by sadhu kripa, how we were reading in the verses of Sri Caitanya Bhagavat, that by sadhu kripa and purva sukriti, adhyatmic sukriti, how we can get Krishna prakash, how we can get the manifestation of Krishna bhakti in our heart. In this regard, I would like to tell all of you a very wonderful story. I like this story very much because there are many lessons, practical lessons that we can learn from this story. So please listen attentively. This story is from Bhagwan Shri Krishna Dvaipayan Vyasadev's Matsya Puran. It is from the Matsya Puran, this story. And it begins in the Matsya Puran and culminates in Srimad Bhagavatam. That is the beauty of this story. And this is, many times this is seen like that all journeys of pure devotees, they culminate in Srimad Bhagavatam. Because Srimad Bhagavatam is dharma projita kaitavatra parama nirmat saranam satam. It rejects all lesser dharmas, and Srimad Bhagavatam speaks only about savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhakti radhaupshaje. It only talks about the param dharma, which is bhakti for Krishna. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Talks about pure devotional service. So we all know that there was the Devasur Sangram that is described in the 8th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. 8th canto? Samudra Manthan Leela, where there is the war between the Devatas and the demigods described, called Devasur Sangram. So there is something that happened before that. And also in Srimad Bhagavatam, we have the story in the 9th canto of Maharaj Yayati and his wives Devyani and Sharmishtha. And this story from Matsya Puran is the prelude to that story. So it's very interesting. It culminates in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Guru, we read the definition of Guru. The Guru of the Asur, Daityas, is Sri Shukracharya Maharaj. And the Guru of the Devatas, the demigods, is Sri Brihaspati Maharaj. Correct? So there is Brihaspati, Guru of the Devatas, and there is Shukracharya, the Guru of the demons. And Devasur Sangram is always going on because the demons are always opposed to devotion to Lord Vishnu, and the demigods are devotees of Lord Vishnu. So they are never able to get along. There is always strife. There is always fighting between the demigods and the demons. There is enmity between them. And many times this enmity leads to a lot of problems. But problems in this world, in a way, are good because they bring us closer to Krishna. Ete cha am shakala pumsham Krishnastu Bhagavana Swayam. Indrari vyakulam lokam mridayanti yuge yuge. When does Krishna appear? When the enemies of Indra become very strong. And Indra and all the devatas become vyakul for Krishna. And they pray to Krishna, hey Krishna, Trahimam, please save us, save us. Then Krishna comes. So in this material world, there is vipatti, there is always problem. Sometimes sampatti, sometimes vipatti. Sometimes we are flourishing, sometimes we are suffering. But suffering, when we take shelter of Krishna, brings us closer to Krishna. So this is always going on, the war between the Devatas and the Daityas, always going on. But the demigods were very much troubled. You know why? Because the Guru of the Daityas, Sri Shukracharya Maharaj, knew a particular type of Vidya called Sanjivani Vidya, where we see in Sagar Manthan Leela that Bali Maharaj was killed after that by the demigods. But what happened? Shukracharya revived him. So this was the power of Shukracharya. He knew something called as Sanjivani Vidya, where he could bring a dead person back to life by chanting a particular mantra called Sanjivani mantra. So the demigods would kill demons with great difficulty after losing many of their own people, and Shukracharya would just chant a mantra and bring the dead demons back to life. So demigods were very much troubled by this, and they were discussing among themselves how to get this Sanjivani Vidya. Our Guru Maharaj, Brihaspati ji, does not know this Vidya. But our Acharyas comment on Matsya Puran that one very good quality of the demigods is that they never consider their guru to be laghu. They never consider their guru to have any weakness. Brihaspati did not know Sanjivani Vidya. Shukracharya, guru of the enemies, knew it. But the demigods never thought that Brihaspati is any less than Shukracharya. And they never thought that their guru, Brihaspati, is inferior to Shukracharya. This is very important, my dear friends. We should never think that because my Gurudev cannot speak Sanskrit, or my Gurudev doesn't know how to dance in Kirtan, or my Gurudev is not a good singer, or my Gurudev is not a big manager, or my Gurudev is not a GBC, my Gurudev is not so famous, doesn't have so many hundreds of thousands of followers on YouTube, my Guru is less. We should never have this laghutva bhavana, this feeling of insignificance in one's Guru. Ever. Even in the mind, one should not think like that. Ever. These are material attributes. These are material attributes. Even mundane boxers and pop singers and movie stars, they have millions of followers. So having followers, having these physical abilities of singing and dancing and linguistic abilities, knowledge of language, that doesn't define a Guru. Guru has only one quality. Jai Krishna Tattva Vekta Sei Guru Hai. One who loves Krishna, one who is devoted to Krishna, that is a Vaishnava Guru. That is a Vaishnava Guru. So, Guru is a lover of Krishna. Like Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj would say, Gaur Premi Jan. Guru is Gaur Premi Jan. He is a lover of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. That's all. Other material qualities are not important. So we should never have any feeling of laghuta, insignificance in our Guru, because we don't see some material attribute in our Guru. The demigods had this good quality. They never considered Brihaspati to be inferior to Shukracharya because Brihaspati did not know Sanjivani Vidya. But they were trying to figure out what to do so we can get this Sanjivani Vidya. Otherwise the demons will finish us. So they approached the eldest son of Brihaspati. His name was Kach. The demigods headed by Indra, they approached Kach, the eldest son of Brihaspati, because son is non-different from the father. The father lives through the son. So they told him that, listen, Kach, we respect you as much as your father, but we are in a very big problem here. Shukracharya is the guru of the enemies, and any demon we kill, he brings that demon back to life. So we are getting outnumbered, we are becoming weaker, and we don't know how to counteract this Sanjivani Vidya. The only way we can counteract is if we can also have someone who knows the Sanjivani Vidya. So we request you, O Kach, that you should go and learn the Sanjivani Vidya from Sri Shukracharya. Now Kach, Matsya Puran describes, was in Nava Yavan Avastha. He was just 16 years old, very young. He was not even become a man. He was unmarried, young brahmachari. So he told the demigods that, oh demigods, you are all devotees of Lord Vishnu, and you are very respectful to my father Brihaspati, and you have approached me with such faith and respect. It is my duty to help you. Therefore, even though this mission is very difficult, I accept it. I know I may not come back alive, because I am going to infiltrate the enemy camp. I am going to go live with the demons, and they may identify me as son of Brihaspati. Immediately they will kill me. There is such enmity between both the camps. But paropakarartham idam shariram. Yes, this life is meant for paropakar. So not for my own swarth. I have nothing to gain, but you are devotees, you are disciples of my father, you are doing good work. For your sake, I will take this mission. And he went to the enemy camp as a brahmachari, and straight he went to the ashram of Shukracharya. He offered his Dandavat Pranam to Shukracharya and introduced himself. He said, "Hey, Shri Shukracharya Maharaj, I am the grandson of Angira Muni. I am the eldest son of Brihaspati. And I have come here to learn from you." He didn't say what he wanted to learn. Said, I have come to learn from you. Please accept me as your student. I take a vow that for 1,000 years I will serve you. I will not leave your ashram for 1,000 years. I will be your menial servant. But please teach me, educate me, train me. Shukracharya was very powerful Brahman, and he looked at Kach and said, okay, you are a very honest Brahman. You have come in a very candid, open way. So I accept you, but don't live outside, because if the demons find out that you are Brihaspati's son, immediately they will kill you and cut you to pieces. These demons, they are my disciples, but they have krur swabhav. They are cruel by nature. They will kill you. So you live in my house. My daughter is also just little, almost your age. She's also in Nava Yovana Avastha. She's also 15, 16 years old. So you stay in the house and you do what she says, serve her. And Guru Putri is like Guru only. So you serve my daughter and be under her guidance. Stay in my house. Don't go anywhere and don't tell anybody that you are here. Keep it secret. Kach offers Sashtanga Pranam again to Shukracharya and says, hey Gurudev, thank you for accepting me as your student. I take a vow, keeping the 10 directions as Sakshi. I take a vow that from today, for 1,000 years, I will observe strict celibacy. And I will do whatever you tell me to do. I will be your servant and I will not leave you for 1,000 years. From that day, Kach started living with Shukracharya. He would wash the clothes, wash the pots, clean the house. He would go a little bit from the house, bring some dry wood for fire, yajna. He would take care of the cows, milk the cows. He would do everything. He was a very big asset to the daughter of Shukracharya. And who was the daughter of Shukracharya? Devyani. She was the daughter of Shukracharya, Devyani. So he was a big help to her. He made her life so easy. He would do all the menial work in the house. So 500 years went by out of 1,000. Matsya Puran describes 500 years went by and no one came to know that the son of Brihaspati Maharaj is living in the enemy camp, in the kingdom of Bali Maharaj, in the ashram of Bali Maharaj's own Guru, Shukracharya. But there were spies everywhere. The demons had their spies everywhere. And somehow they noticed that this young brahmachari is living here in the ashram of Shukracharya. We have never seen him before. And then some of them who knew Brihaspati, Kach, seen them before, he said, oh, this is Kach, he's the son of Brihaspati. So immediately the news was taken to the leaders of the demons. And they were told that Kach is living in the ashram of Shukracharya and he's learning. Probably he is here to learn the Sanjivani Vidya, because that is the only Vidya that their Guru Brihaspati does not have. So this is definitely some plan of the demons. So then the demons made a nice plan and they waited for Kach to leave the ashram. One day, Shukracharya, now 500 years went by, nothing happened. So Shukracharya also became little lax. Devyani and Kach also became little complacent. He was not going anywhere, but one day Shukracharya told him, beta, go and take the cows. These cows are very useful. They help me in the yajnas. They give so much ghee. So please you go and take the cows in the forest to graze them. So Kach alone went with the cows of Shukracharya in the forest and the demons were ready. As soon as they got the news that today he is going alone to graze the cows, they were ready in the forest. Kach was standing under a tree, surrounded by the cows who were happily eating the grass. The demons approached, fully armed with weapons. They approached this young Brahman. Hey Brahman, who are you? Kach was very straightforward. He said, I am the son of Brihaspati and I am a disciple of Shukracharya and I am living in his ashram. These are his cows and Guru Maharaj has given me the service to graze them. Bas. 1 minute later, Kach was murdered, chopped into small pieces, and these demons had ferocious dogs with them who were hungry, and the demons said, okay, you can eat the flesh of Kach. Within minutes, Kach was murdered, cut into pieces, and those pieces were fed to the hungry, ferocious dogs of the demons. In the evening, the cows returned to the ashram without their caretaker, without Kach. And Devyani became restless, anxious. Where is Kach? Where is Kach? She immediately approached Shukracharya, who was doing his Sandhya Vandan. Guru, Pitaji, father, your disciple, one who is surrendered to you, Kach, has not returned. Normally he returns by this hour. My heart says, as a woman, my heart says something is seriously wrong. Please, can you find out what happened to Kach and bring him back safely? Shukracharya was extremely powerful. He closed his eyes in meditation and immediately the whole mystery was revealed to him. He immediately realized in his meditation what had happened to Kach. He opened his eyes and told his daughter, my dear daughter Devyani, I'm very sorry to inform that your assistant and my disciple, the son of Brihaspati, Kach, has been killed today by the demons. These cruel demons killed him. They cut him into pieces and fed him to the dogs. Now nothing can be done, my dear daughter. What can we do now? We cannot even do his Anteshti Kriya, his funeral rites. He has already been fed to the dogs. What to do? Providence, destiny is very powerful. Let us continue with our duties. Devyani said, how can you speak like this, father? He was surrendered to you. He is your disciple. This is not acceptable. If you want to see me happy, you must bring Kach back to life. You have brought so many demons back to life. You cannot bring your own disciple back to life. He who is living in your ashram, serving for more than 500 years faithfully. Okay, relax. I will bring him to life. He immediately did Achaman, chanted the Sanjeevani mantra, and immediately Kach came back to life. So he was in the stomachs of so many different ferocious dogs, the demon dogs. As soon as the mantra was chanted, their bellies burst open. Madhya Puran says, their bellies burst open. The dogs died. And the different pieces of the body of Kach came in one form. Again, Kach's body was created and he came back to the ashram of Gurudev. Devyani was very happy that Kach has been saved by the Sanjeevani mantra of his father. She was very, very pleased, very, very pleased. And she told Kach that, do you remember what happened? Kach said, yes, I remember. I was grazing the cows, the demons found out, they came and they killed me, cut me to pieces. Yes, but after that, I told my father that if you want to see me happy, you must bring Kach back to life. So he chanted the Sanjeevani mantra and you were revived. Actually, our acharyas explained this Vidya is also mentioned in Valmiki Ramayana. In the Valmiki Ramayana, there is the story of Agastya Rishi. You must have heard. There were two demons, Ilvala and Vatapi. And this Ilvala had this boon. He knew this Vidya of Sanjeevani. He could chant a mantra and bring a dead person to life. So they were also very cruel. They would invite all the sadhus in the forest for prasad, these two demons. And Ilvala would kill Vatapi, his own brother, and cook him and feed that feast to the sadhus, telling them that, oh, this is vegetarian. Eat, don't worry. Yes, he would mix it in the vegetarian food. Ramayana has the story. And feed them. And when all the sadhus in the forest had eaten the nice bhandara, Ilvala would sit, do achaman, and then chant this mantra, Sanjeevani mantra. And all the sadhus' bellies would burst open and Vatapi would come again alive and all the sadhus would be dead. Then he would ask, Ilvala, how many dead today? 1,000 sadhus dead. And they would celebrate. This was their modus operandi. When the population of the sadhus in the forest started diminishing, the remaining sadhus helplessly went to Maharaj Agastya Rishi and told them. Agastya Rishi said, let's get invited for the bhandara. I would like to eat. A very funny incident from Ramayana. So they go and Ilvala, he kills Vatapi, cooks him into nice feast, mixed with vegetarian, small pieces. And he invites all the sadhus headed by Agastya Rishi. Agastya Rishi said, Ilvala, I have one condition. I am a very hungry sadhu. I have not eaten in many days. So first let me eat. Then the other sadhus can eat. Oh yes, no problem. Sit. Agastya Rishi eats everything. Agastya Rishi, he can swallow the whole ocean. He ate everything. And then Ilwala sits, does Achaman, and chants the Sanjeevani mantra. And our acharyas explain, I don't know if Valmiki Ramayana also says this or not, but our acharyas explain that Agastya Rishi released gas from below and said, your Vatapi has been digested. Has been done. Now he will not come back. Yeah, my Jatharagni is so strong that I have digested him. So the Sanjeevani mantra also did not work on Agastya Rishi. He was so powerful. Brahmarshi. But anyway, this Vidya, Sanjeevani Vidya, was known. But it has to be chanted before the pieces are digested. If they are digested, then nothing can be done. So, fortunately, the dogs had not digested this Kach. So, he was brought back to life. So, then some days passed, and the spies again noticed, this Kach is still alive. He's still in the ashram of Shukracharya. What to do? So they devised another plan that next time he comes out, we will kill him again. But this time we will be even more careful how to dispose him of. So one day he went to collect some fruits and flowers for puja of Shukracharya. And again the demons caught him. And again they killed him. And this time they made small pieces and they threw him into the ocean. Again in the evening he did not come back. Devyani started crying, said, I want Kach back. Please do something. Again, Shukracharya sits in meditation, realizes that again the demons have killed him. And this time cut his body into pieces and gone far into the ocean and thrown him into the ocean. Probably the fish have also eaten him by now. Devyani says, if you want to see me happy, you must chant the Sanjeevani mantra and bring him back to life. Shukracharya again chants the mantra and this Kach is again brought back to life. Such is the power of the Sanjeevani mantra, Sanjeevani Vidya. He comes back to life. But the demons are so persistent. They are so wicked. Kach has not done anything to them. He is just a brahmachari living in the ashram of his guru, serving his guru and serving their guru. And still they are so envious towards him. Again they devise a plan. One day Shukracharya says, Kach beta, go and get some kusha grass for me for the puja. So he goes to the forest. Again they accost him, they catch him. And this time the demons decide we will dispose him of in such a way that even Shukracharya will not be able to bring him back to life. They come up with such a foolproof plan. You know what they do? They kill him. Third time, they kill him. They cremate him. They take the ashes and they grind the ashes into fine powder. And Shukracharya has employed some cooks also in his house who are demons. And every day it is said Shukracharya used to have angur juice, the juice, fruit juice of grapes. So that day they brought these ashes into fine powder and they mixed it into the smoothie of Shukracharya. Vitamix. They mixed the ashes of Kach and they fed Shukracharya only. Hare Krishna. So Shukracharya got the juice, Matsya Puran says, and he drank that angur juice, which had the ashes mixed in it, Kach ashes. So again in the evening, he had not come back with the kusha grass. Devani became anxious. She told her father, Father, please find out what happened to Kach. Bring him back. Shukracharya meditated, closed his eyes. Then he opened his eyes and told his daughter, my dear daughter Devyani, this time I cannot do anything. These demons are such envious people. Today also they killed Kach, but this time they killed him, cremated him, and mixed his ashes into the angur juice that I had just now. And very soon, my Jatharagni is also very strong, like Agastya Muni. Within a few moments, he will be completely digested. Now nothing can be done. Devyani says, if Kach is not brought back to life, my dear father, I will commit suicide. I will not be able to maintain my life. If you want to see me alive, then you have to bring Kach back to life. Shukracharya petitioned his wife, my dear daughter, Devyani, don't say like this. Today, either Kach will live or I will live. If I chant the Sanjivani mantra, he will come back to life, but he will burst open my belly and I will have a painful death. Is that what you want? Devan says, my dear father, you are very chatur. You are very intelligent. The demons have not made you their guru just like that. There must be some way out. Please see to it that before your bowels digest Kach, you bring him back to life right now, right here, and do something so that you also survive. Shukracharya says, that is not possible. The moment I chant the mantra, I will die. He says, no, you figure out a way. Now, Shukracharya indeed was very intelligent. He says, okay, because Kach has been a brahmachari, he is very pure. Because he is Urvaret, because he is a pure brahmachari and his Guru Sevak, he is very pure. And therefore, even though he has been killed, he has been burnt, and his ashes have been consumed by me, I can empower this pure brahmachari, Kach, so that he can hear me. Kach, do you hear me? From inside the bowels, sound comes. Yes, Gurudev, I can hear you. But I am very afraid because your bowels are about to digest me. Shukracharya says, don't worry, Kach. I will bring you back to life by chanting the Sanjivani mantra. Kach prays from inside the bowel that, hey Gurudev, no, please don't bring me back to life. Let me die. I don't want to live a life that has been acquired by Guru Hatya. You are my Guru. You are my Guru. You are my father. Both as a Guru, you are my father. And now I have lived in your udar. So that also you are my father. I have lived in your belly now. So you are my father. So please, I cannot kill my father. I cannot kill my Guru. Don't do this. Let me die. Don't chant the mantra. Shukracharya tells Kach, Kach, don't worry. Before I chant the mantra to revive you, I will teach you Sanjivani Vidya. And then I will chant the mantra for you. I will die. You will come back to life. And then you chant the mantra and bring me back to life. Because I will teach you Sanjivani Vidya right now. Are you ready? Are you able to hear me? Kach says, yes, Gurudev, by your mercy, I can hear you. Okay, so listen. And Shukracharya gives the Sanjivani Vidya to Kach. And then chants the Sanjivani mantra for Kach. Shukracharya's belly bursts open, he dies, and Kach is standing there in front of Devyani. And this time, he is not just alive, he becomes even more effulgent by the blessing of Shukracharya and more powerful. Immediately he sits down, does Achaman, and chants the mantra that he got from Sanjivani Vidya for his Gurudev, Shukracharya. And immediately Shukracharya comes back to life. So in this way, both are alive and Devyani is very happy. At this time, Kach folds his hands and tells Shukracharya, hey Gurudev, because of me there is so much disturbance. Every day they kill me. Every day you have to bring me back to life. He says, this is not good. I don't want to be a source of trouble. I came here to serve you. But please give me permission. The purpose for which I had come has actually been fulfilled. Shukracharya says, do you think I did not know this? The day you came, I knew that you have come only for Sanjivani Vidya. But because you never asked for it, I gave it to you today. If you would have asked from me that Vidya, even when you were dying, you said, don't chant, don't chant. So you came for that, but you never asked for it. You just served me. And I'm very pleased with this, your qualities. You are brahmachari, you never asked for anything. You just served me. That's why you became qualified to get the Sanjivani Vidya from me today. So you deserve it, Shukracharya told Kach. Kach said, my dear Gurudev, I will not leave your ashram now. I will stay under your protection. And Shukracharya says to the demons that, listen, all of you are my disciples, but so is Kach. After today, if you try to kill him, then the demons, all of you, will be completely vanquished by the demigods. So don't touch Kach. So then Kach is also protected now. So then Kach says, Gurudev, 500 years of seva is still remaining. I had promised you I will remain a brahmachari and serve you selflessly for 1000 years. So I will complete my vrat. I will serve you for another 500 years. And then if you give me permission, I will go back to my father, Brihaspati. Shukracharya says, Tathastha. So for another 500 years, Kach lives in the ashram of Shukracharya and menially serves him after getting the Sanjeevani Vidya. After that, when 1000 years are over, he offers obeisances to Shukracharya and says, Maharaj, Guru Maharaj, if you give me permission, I will return to my father's house now, to the house of Brihaspati. Shukracharya says, you have my permission and blessings. You can leave. I wish you all the success. Then, as he is leaving, Devyani calls from behind. She says, you were under my protection. 3 times you were killed. Because of my hut, you were rescued by my father. How can you leave without my permission? I don't give you permission. 1000 years you have stayed with me and you have served me. I have become attached to you. I want you to marry me. Do Pani Grahan. Take my hand and marry me. Kach says that, O Devi, when I was placed under your service, your father, my Gurudev, Shukracharya, told me that she is as good as me, being my daughter. So I always looked at you as my Guru. Just like I have feelings for Gurudev, Shukracharya, I have feelings for you. I always looked at you as worshipable. Moreover, I have lived in the belly of your father. So we are Sahodar. Actually, according to the Vedic science, Indra, he is the king of heaven. And he gives the rains. Parjanya. He gives the rain. And with the rains, Indra sends the qualified souls on earth through rainwater. And those souls get mixed in the water, mixed in the fruits, vegetables that grow from the rain. And when a man eats, the soul enters the body of the man. And through semen, during sexual intercourse, enters the mother's womb. So a soul has lived in the body of the father also, and in the body of the mother also. So Kach says that Devyani has lived in your udar because she is your daughter, and I have also lived in your udar because you had eaten me unknowingly. So she is my sahodar. She is my sister. We come from the same womb, the same belly. So therefore, she is my sister. She is like my worshipable guru. So how can you talk like this, Devyani? I never had these feelings for you. You said it once, but never again say like this. You are worshipable to me. I can never do Pani Grahan. I can never marry you. You are worshipable to me. And he begins to leave. Devyani gets furious. She says, how can you reject me like this? I curse you that whatever Sanjeevani Vidya you have learned from my father, you will immediately, forever, permanently forget it. Delete. Delete it. So this 1000 years of service, 3 times being murdered by demons, going through so much trials and tribulations, he got Sanjeevani Vidya and it was lost. So why did I tell you the story? For this point. Jada Vidya, mundane knowledge, no matter how good, how powerful it is lost. But knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Neha Vikramanashosti Pratyavayana Vidyate Swalpavyasya Dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. The demons headed by Shukracharya have Sanjeevani Vidya. Are they happy and peaceful? No. So can Sanjeevani Vidya make us happy? Can Amaravati make us happy? The king of heaven, kingdom of heaven? No. None of these things can make us happy. They have all this and still they are miserable. They are fighting. They are constantly in anxiety. But Krishna Bhakta is always peaceful. Krishna Bhakta Nishtam Ataiva Shanta. Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakalai Ashanta. So this is the problem. That this material knowledge, very difficult to acquire. And once acquired, very easy to lose. One stroke, one head injury, and we forget. All the MBA, MD, PhD, BE, MTech, BTech gone. Something happens, you go blind, We break our hands, hands cannot function, we cannot work, we cannot type, we cannot do anything. It's gone. And even if it is not gone, like Stephen Hawking's, somehow we have some software where blinking of the eyelids also we can write books and dictate and think. But at death, it's gone. Where is he now? I want Stephen Hawking to write a book for me now. Can he write? He's gone. Finished. Death will take, mrityu sarva harascha aham, Krishna. In the form of death, everything will be taken away, everything material. But neha vikramanasha. Spiritual knowledge, spiritual practice, bhakti is never to be destroyed. What is that? Devotional services on Srila Bhakti Sridhar Maharaj? I don't know. Spiritual devotional service is just some very nice word Maharaj uses, that spiritual knowledge is permanent. Devotional service is permanent. It is never destroyed. So that is a difference. So Kach gets cursed by Devyani that you will forget your Sanjivani Vidya. And then Kach says, "Oh Devi, being agitated by Kama Vasana, you have cursed this Brahman. 1000 years I served for that Sanjivani Vidya, and you took it away from me. All right. Today I also curse you, that you will never be able to marry a Brahman." And therefore in Srimad Bhagavatam we see Devyani, when Yayati Maharaj does Pani Grahan, he is hesitant. He says, "Oh, this is not Anulom, this is Pratilom Vivaha. This is again, so Brahmani should only marry a Brahman. A Kshatriyani can marry a Brahman because that's an upgrade. Women should always upgrade. So therefore, Mother Devahuti, she was able to marry Kardama Muni because Kardama Muni is Brahmarshi and she was a Kshatriyani. That is allowed. But a Brahmani cannot marry a Kshatriya because Brahman is superior. Brahman is superior to Kshatriya. A Brahmani cannot marry a Kshatriya. But this Pratilom Vivaha happened in Srimad Bhagavatam. We see Devyani was allowed to marry Maharaj Yayati, who was a Kshatriya. And then she says, Devyani says to Maharaj Yayati in Srimad Bhagavatam that don't feel sorry. This is authorized because I have a curse from a Brahman that I will never be able to marry another Brahman. And that is this story from Matsya Puran. Kach had cursed her. That is the connection. Then what happened? Devyani married Yayati Maharaj. We don't have time to tell that story. Already 3 minutes passed and it's full chapters in Srimad Bhagavatam. But what happens? She gets a very nice husband, Yayati Maharaj, enjoys with him, but still there is no peace. Again, there is a fight with her husband over Sharmishta. She goes to her father, Shukracharya, and again Yayati starts trembling now. That what will happen now? Shukracharya will curse me. So then he satisfies, says Sharmishta will become Devyani's maid servant, don't worry. All those things happen. And for many, many thousands of years, Devyani and Maharaj Yayati, according to Dharma, they enjoy. But Kam, satisfied through Dharma also, doesn't lead to complete peace. Bhogat Shanti Nahi. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Tyagat Shanti Ranam. Yes. Tyagat Shanti Ranam. So Tyagat Shanti. By renunciation, we get peacefulness, not by experiencing sense objects. So therefore, Devyani, what happens to her? That is the conclusion in the 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. That Yayati Maharaj and Devyani, they enjoy, but they are not satisfied. Finally, Yayati Maharaj speaks nice allegorical story about a he-goat and she-goat. And then finally, both of them become devotees of Krishna. They do bhajan together, and both of them attain Krishna in that lifetime. One lifetime, they both attain Krishna, Devyani and Maharaj Yayati. So this is the point, that we have to come to the path of pure devotion. And pure devotion can only come from a pure devotee who is a Bhagavat. The book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat. Jao tumi Bhagavata padho Vaishnava rasthani. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu instructs in the Antya Leela of Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. We have to take ashraya of Mahabhagavat Vaishnava and ashraya of Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we will get pure devotional service. And all these activities that we do, chanting, hearing, attending satsang, serving the deity of Krishna, puja seva, shravanam, kirtanam, Vishnu smaranam, all these things, they are slowly creating good samskars for us. These are all devotional activities and they are never lost. So these two things that were described in Chaitanya Bhagavata today, sadhu sang and sukriti. These two are important. And as we go through life, we should try to collect as much adhyatmic bhakti poshak sukriti as possible, bowing down to the deities. Pranamo dukkha kshamanas. Tam namami harim param. Every opportunity we get to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, every opportunity we get to participate in Nam Sankirtan, to watch Krishna conscious dramas, to hear Leela Katha of Krishna, we should collect. This is our spiritual treasure that we are collecting. And we are becoming spiritually richer and richer. We should collect. Padyavali, Sri Rupa Goswami writes, just like a miserly, greedy person counts money again and again. How much do I have? How much I have here? They count money. Similarly, a devotee should greedily, laulyam, count the holy name. How much I have chanted. Oh, today I was able to do 2 extra rounds. Thank you, thank you. Doesn't tell anybody. Hides the bhajan. Just like a miser hides the wealth. A devotee should hide the bhajan, not tell about it. By telling, bhajan is lost. Apanera bhajan katha na kahibe yatha katha. Shri Narottama Thakur said. Don't speak about your bhajan. In this way, we should live our life in the association of devotees, with humility, in the mood of the servant, and chant maximum, like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us. Day and night, khaite, shuite, yatha tatha namle, desh kal niyam nahi sarva siddhi hai. As we were reading in that verse today. This is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this is what we should do. And then, in the end, we will attain the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. Are there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. What a beautiful class. You started with the definition of Guru, then Acharya. And from there you revealed such a beautiful, simple, captivating story. And from there you gave us such a deep instruction to not go behind material knowledge, material wealth, how temporary they are, and what we should do. Beautiful, beautiful class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. I can see some raised hands. Darshini Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. You can unmute Darshini Mataji.
Yes, I'll.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhuji, I actually have one question and some reflections. My one question is that today in the Katha, you were telling that, when Kach was confronted by the demons, he was like very openly telling that, he's the son of Brihaspati. But in the Ramayana also, we see the example of Vibhishan, where when Ravan confronts Vibhishan, he tells, more than chanting your name, it's more glorious to chant, Ravan and Mandodari's name together, it's Ram. So which kind of, which path to follow in which situation? So this is my first question.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada taught us that we should be like Vibhishan. We should be like Vibhishan. Srila Prabhupada taught us. Srila Prabhupada was like that. When he went to Russia, behind the Iron Curtain in the 1970s, there was a Cold War going on between USA and USSR. Now it is Russia, that time it was USSR. And they had a Cold War, nuclear race between the two countries. And when he went, he was under strict scrutiny. He was not allowed to bring any books. He was not allowed to lecture publicly. He was only allowed to privately meet Professor Kotowski. He was told to stay in a hotel where he was monitored, and he was not given even access to any kitchen, or he was completely monitored. Everywhere he went, he had an escort watching him, Prabhupada. So Prabhupada went in like a needle. This one, 75-year-old man from India. Because the Russians were very afraid of Krishna consciousness. They took it as a great, they knew the success of Hare Krishna explosion in America, in Europe, Australia. They had seen it. And they didn't want it in their communist country, USSR. So they were very cautious. And Prabhupada complied. He said, "Oh, I'm just coming to meet Professor Kotowski. Just want to have a conversation with him and see how it is in Russia. Visit library and all those things." He didn't bring any books, except one book that Her Grace Malati Devi had slipped into Shyamsundar Prabhu's suitcase. Unbeknownst to both of them. Prabhupada and Shyamsundar Prabhu did not even know that Bhagavad Gita had been slipped in. And fortunately at customs that was not detected, otherwise it would have been a big problem. So Prabhupada was there and he just complied with the rules. He did not show his intentions. Was Srila Prabhupada's intention only to meet Professor Kotowski? No. Srila Prabhupada had big plans. So Srila Prabhupada came, was living in a hotel with Shyamsundar Prabhu, and there was no food. Shyamsundar Prabhu said, "I'll go and get some potatoes." He went, he was standing in line. In Russia, there was so much poverty that time. Everybody had the fixed income and there was rationing and there were lines for everything. So even to buy grocery, there were lines. Shyamsundar Prabhu was standing in line and two young Russian boys approached him. He said, "You look different. Who are you? What are you?" He said, "I'm a Hare Krishna." He had shaved head and everything. "We are here on a mission. We are here to discuss Eastern philosophy with the professor of Eastern studies in the university in Moscow, Professor Kotowski. So we are here. I'm here with my spiritual master." "Oh, we are interested. We would like to learn. Will your spiritual master preach to us?" "Oh, yes, he will. Let me go back and ask my spiritual master and I will call you. Give me your phone number. I will call you back and we'll arrange a meeting." Shyamsundar Prabhu was very excited. He came and told Srila Prabhupada, "I met two young Russian boys. They seem interested. Can I call them to the hotel so that you can preach to them the philosophy of Krishna consciousness?" Prabhupada said, "No, they are KGB agents. Don't call them. Forget it. They are KGB agents." Prabhupada with his divine vision could see. The next day again, Shyamsundar Prabhu went to get potatoes. And again, he met two people, young boys. One was an Indian who was the son of the Indian ambassador to Russia. So Indian boy, but living in Russia because his father was the Indian ambassador to Russia. And the second was a Russian boy, his friend. They were in college together. So a Russian boy and an Indian Russian boy. And they started talking to Shyamsundar Prabhu and similar conversation happened. And the Russian boy was interested. And can we come? So Shyamsundar Prabhu was on guard now. He knew that these could be KGB agents. So he said, "Well, give me your number. I'll talk to my spiritual master. I'll get back to you." He asked Prabhupada. Prabhupada this time said, "Yes, call them immediately." So they came. Prabhupada only had 2.5 days left in Russia. And in the hotel room, all day long, Prabhupada was preaching. Now the Russian boy spoke only Russian. Prabhupada spoke in English. And the Indian boy was not interested. It was the Russian boy who was interested. But the Indian boy was a translator. So Prabhupada spoke in English. The Indian boy translated from English to Russian for the Russian boy. 2.5 days, these boys came. Every day when Prabhupada was there, they came. And from morning to evening, Srila Prabhupada preached to them. Preached to the Russian boy through the Indian boy. And at the end of that, Srila Prabhupada empowered that Russian boy. That I'm going now, you'll probably never see me again. But here is a Bhagavad Gita that somehow we found in our bag. We are not supposed to have it, but this is for yours to keep. It has everything you need to know. And the whole philosophy I've explained to you in the last 2-3 days. Remember what I told you, read this book. Here are the beads. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Your name is Ananta Shanti Das. Prabhupada initiated that Russian boy. Indian boy was not interested. Russian boy became interested. Prabhupada initiated him and left Russia, never to go back again to Russia. But this one boy who got 2.5 days of association of Prabhupada, one-on-one, he knew nothing about India before that. He knew nothing about Krishna consciousness. He got a crash course by Srila Prabhupada and Bhagavad Gita and Harinam. This boy became so empowered, such a pure, empowered Acharya. He became Ananta Shanti Prabhu, that he created the Hare Krishna revolution in Russia. One boy and one Bhagavad Gita, empowered by Srila Prabhupada. So our Acharyas say, our Guru Varga says, Srila Prabhupada went in like a needle and came out like a plow. Went in like a needle, came out like a plow. Ananda Shanti Prabhu. One man, empowered by Srila Prabhupada. He hand wrote that Bhagavad Gita several times, distributed it. That one Bhagavad Gita was printed, reprinted. Because printing was illegal. Devotees would hand copy it and make their copies, like the old Vedic style. How Srinivas Acharya needed a Bhagavata to learn from Gadadhar Pandit. Like that, hand-written copies of Bhagavad Gita. Secret underground preaching. Kirtan, closed doors, nobody should know, no instruments. It just increased because Prabhupada said Russians are hungry for spirituality, but they are restricted by the government. So Prabhupada went in like a needle, came out like a plow. So that is how we should be. We should be like Srila Prabhupada, follow in his footsteps. Mahajano yana gatha sapanta. Vibhishan is our Acharya. From Kutch, we understand what not to do. From Vibhishan, we understand what to do. Kutch gave so much for Sanjeevani Vidya. Come on. Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Deshkal Niyam Nai, Sarva Siddhi Hai. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is available. Just chant Hare Krishna. It would have been so wonderful. So from Kutch, we learn what not to do. And from Vibhishan, we learn, from Ananta Shanti Prabhu, from Srila Prabhupada, we learn what to do. So that's how we should be. We should be intelligent. Jai Bhaja Krishna, Sai Bada Chatura. Krishna's devotee is very chatur. So we have to use our intelligence. When Prabhupada sent Brahmananda Prabhu to the Muslim countries, they went with shirt pant. Srila Prabhupada sent Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami to Russia. He gave up his sannyas robes, wore suit and tie, went like a business investor to Russia, China. I want to invest. I'm an American. I've come to invest in. Oh, come. What happened? He has thousands of Chinese disciples now. Went in like a needle, came out like a plow. Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Prabhupada's man. That's how we should be. Is it okay, Darshini Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, and I have some realizations.
Yes, reflections, please.
Yeah, first thing is like, when you mentioned that father and son are not different from each other. So I also remember that, we have, although like all of us repent that we have not seen Srila Prabhupada, we still have Srila Prabhupada's disciples with us, and they are carrying Srila Prabhupada in their heart completely. And they have always been there for us. Our Gurujans have always been there for us. So our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada should also reflect in our service to our Guru. So that was like my first realization.
Very nice.
And one more is for Kutch, like although he was sure that he may not come back, alive again, but still he carried out the service given by the demigods. So when we get some seva for Vaishnavas, even if it is a little risky for us, even if it is a little, catchy for us, we should not consider our condition and our selfishness. We should serve them selflessly, and by their mercy, we'll get blessings of Krishna and Guru. And from the Caitanya Bhagavata verse, I also understood that, when we see devotees around us advancing, instead of speculating how did they advance and doing all that, we should really praise them and take their association, and we should also try to improve our spiritual journey. And then our Guru Bhakti should be without any expectations, like, although Kutch did it for a material purpose, but still our Guru Bhakti should be without any material expectations or any ulterior motive. So it should be only to please our Guru, and by Guru's mercy, when Guru is pleased, he will surely one day we'll get Krishna prema. Maybe in some lifetimes, but that is not far. So that's one thing. And and then I also found a little hope through Devyani, because although she had committed like Vaishnava Aparadh by cursing and all of that, but still Krishna accepted her in the end. Krishna was very merciful to accept her, despite whatever past we have. It's very hope-giving for me at least, that, although I'm like very fallen, very sinful, I still have little hope that somehow, someday I may get accepted. And the last thing was like my reflection on the scenario between Kutch versus Parikshit Maharaj. Like both of them were cursed, but the immediate response they gave was Kutch cursed Devyani again. But Parikshit Maharaj accepted it and went to Shukdev Goswami. And because of the two legends, we have the full Srimad Bhagavatam with us today. So I'm very grateful for that.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Amazing, Darshini Mataji. That was so nice. Your reflections are very bona fide and very nice. Especially this last one and the first one, that we should, even though service may be dangerous, because the demigods who are devotees are giving, Kutch accepted it. And this reflection actually is consistent with Srila Radha Govinda's Goswami Maharaj. I heard the story from Maharaj, Srila Radha Govinda Maharaj, and he said the same thing, that because Kutch was selflessly trying to serve the demigods, Krishna protected him. It was not the Sanjeevani Vidya, it was Krishna who was protecting him. So very nice reflection. It is in line with our acharyas. And this comparison with Parikshit Maharaj is very sweet, very nice. That Tiraskrita Vipralabdha Shakta Shakta Hata Api Nasitat Pratikurvanti Tad Bhakta Prabho Bihi. Parikshit Maharaj was cursed. He was criticized by Shringi. And Parikshit Maharaj had the power to retaliate, but he did not. Kutch retaliated. he was fed up. 1,000 years I did this and now you're taking it away. I also curse you. So yes, very nice reflection. There is a difference between a pure devotee and a karma mishra bhakta. Demigods are, many of them are karma mishra bhakta. Of course, some are pure devotees like Ganeshji, Shivji, but many of them are karma mishra bhakta also. This is very nice. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your reflections.
Please keep me in your prayers, Prabhuji. Please.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
You've guided me a lot, just like how a father does. So please keep me in your
Hare
prayers.
Krishna. Thank you. Then one fatherly advice, please wear Kanthimala, Tulsi Mala.
Yes, Prabhuji. No, actually, my parents are non-devotees, so I couldn't leave onion garlic yet. And although many people tell that you can still wear, but my thing is that it's Vrinda Devi. So like, if I can't go near things, I should not do it for her. Like, out of my love for Vrinda Devi, that's it, nothing else.
You pray, you chant Hare Krishna sincerely, Krishna will help you. Hare Krishna.
Please keep me in your prayers. Thank you so much,
Yes.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Last question, Divya Mataji. Sorry, Mataji, you can unmute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. We learned that we are not the body, we are the soul. So I wonder how, after being turned into ashes, the ashes could still have life. Otherwise,
see, this Brahmaji is the creator of this world. And all these material elements, earth, water, fire, air, the Pancha Mahabhut, they constitute the human body. And there is a subtle science whereby chanting mantras, by invoking the powers, higher powers of the demigods, powers of Brahmaji, it is possible to bring those material elements, 5 material elements, Pancha Mahabhut, earth, water, fire, together and reconstruct the human body, reform the human body. We don't have that knowledge, but it's a subtle science. Like, for example, if 500 years ago you told someone that I will be sitting in my home, Ādi Gadādhara Dāsa will be sitting in his home in East Cobb, and someone will be sitting in Charlotte, someone will be sitting in India, and in real time we can see each other and we can talk. Like I can see Vishwanath Prabhu, real time. I don't even know where he's sitting. He's smiling, I can see. Now he's smiling in real time. If you would have told this 500 years ago to Chand Kazi, you think Chand Kazi would have believed you? What are you saying? How this is possible? It was possible for Sanjay. He was a disciple of Vyasdev 5,000 years ago. In real time, he could see Mahabharata more, which means the technology that we have, they had far superior technology at that time. He didn't need Wi-Fi. He didn't need Facebook or Zoom, Sanjay, or a Zoom live from Kurukshetra. No, he could just chant a mantra given by Vyasdev and he could see everything in real time. So that technology was there. That is the power of mantra. The power of mantra is more powerful and superior and subtler than the power of yantra. There is power of mantra and there is power of yantra. And Mahabharata describes this. When the Khaṇḍa forest was being burnt, when Agni Dev offers benedictions to Arjun, or it is probably the Yaksha giving benedictions to Arjun, he says, I can give you the science of yantra, machines. And Arjuna says, nahi chahiye, I don't want. That is for Kali Yuga. That will come later. This is Dwapar Yuga, this is the age of mantra. Don't give me yantra. So yantras are ugra karma. They cause pollution, they do so many things, not good. But mantras were superior and subtler. So, and zero carbon footprint. So that was the olden Vedic times where the mantras were used. Is that okay, Mataji? Mantra Vidya. Superior to
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji, but even before he chanted the mantras, if the disciple, I don't recall his name, Kach, yes. He could speak from Sukacharya belly, but after being killed and cremated, it's like your soul leaves the body, right? And how could the ashes still have his soul? I mean, how could the soul be present in the ashes after?
The ear lobules, the eardrum, brain may not be there, but the subtle body is still there. No? The soul can stay. If that is the arrangement of Krishna, the soul can stay, and the soul is covered by the mind, intelligence, and false ego, and Krishna can empower. If Krishna has made that arrangement in the mantra, that Krishna has invested that potency in that mantra, then the soul may be able to hear ultimately by the arrangement of Krishna. Just like I'm saying, imagine, how is it possible that we are speaking in real time? On this screen made of glass, you are on a screen made of glass, and we are talking in real time. How is this possible? This is not short of a miracle, isn't it? So someone who doesn't know the science may think, how is this possible? This is impossible. How is it possible? But no, it is possible. Similarly, how is it possible for ashes to hear? We cannot fathom it. But it is possible. It happened. It's there in the Matsya Purana. So there's a science that we don't know. It is possible. Kartum akartum anyatha kartum. Krishna can make the impossible possible and possible impossible. Killing Jayadratha in one day when Dronacharya and Dushasan and Duryodhan, everybody was protecting him, Karna was protecting him, was impossible for Arjuna. But Krishna made it possible. Kartum akartum anyatha kartum. Stripping a helpless woman who is covered with just one piece of sari, nothing else, just a piece of sari. For a Maharathi like Dushasan, nobody is coming to help. It was easy, it was possible to strip her naked. Was he able to strip Draupadi naked? No. Krishna can make the possible into impossible and the impossible into possible. Kartum akartum anyatha kartum. That is Krishna. So like that. Okay. So it is possible. Okay, so now there are no more. Hare Krishna. Little Nimai, Hare Krishna. I was just wondering, why didn't Shri Shukracharya vomit out Kach and enliven him? Why he had to harm himself? Maybe you should have been there to give that suggestion. No, but the thing is, see, vomiting can happen from the stomach. But remember, Kach told, Shukracharya told Devyani, and Kach also said it loudly, that your intestine, your bowel are going to digest me. Digestion takes place in the bowels. So he had already gone further down into the bowel, into the intestines. So now they were about to be digested. Not possible to vomit itna andar ka. Vomiting comes from maximum the stomach or duodenum. So is that medical answer okay, little Nimai? From IIT? So like that. Okay. So we'll stop here. Yeah, we'll stop here. And thank you very much, dear devotees. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.